I've been testing out smart home tech for years, and today I'm going to show you 30 devices that are worth it. I try to time this around Black Friday and the holidays coming up so you can find a gift for others or, let's be real, yourself. This video is going to move quickly and everything is linked in the description. Starting off first with the smart universal remote from Baton. It controls everything in my home theater room, the amplifier, Xbox, Apple TV, and projector. Not only that, but it's super easy to use. Even Allie can use it. Oh, that came out wrong. Plus, get this, I can trigger those on-off buttons in Home Assistant. Now, this remote isn't perfect, but it does basically everything I need it to. And I was thinking about doing another video talking more in depth about that. So if you'd be interested in it, let me know in the comments. You know how many plants Allie and I have accidentally killed? We could probably be labeled as plant serial killers at this point. But this new plant sensor from Apollo will hopefully change that. It's the PLT-1 and it's packed full of sensors. Humidity, temperature, light, UV, and most importantly, soil moisture built all into this little device. It's actually really accurate and updated instantly when I was watering the plant. I can even change the RGB light on it with an automation if my plant needs to be watered. It connects directly to Home Assistant using ESP Home, and I absolutely love what Apollo is doing. They're making a lot of unique, inexpensive sensors for Home Assistant. They're amazing, definitely go check them out. You know where the best place to have a speaker in your house is? Your bathroom. Sing along in the shower or blast away while you're getting ready. And I used to use a HomePod Mini in here until one day, it just died. So I bought this Sonos Era 100 and wow, this thing is so much better than the HomePod Mini. It's way louder, sounds amazing, and works with both iOS and Android. Not only that, I can use the built-in mic for the Sonos voice commands to change the song or volume while in the shower.
Hey Sonos, next song.
And it doesn't argue back with me or try to sell me something. It's the complete package. Smoke detectors in the house are great, but you know what's faster? Detecting a fire right when it starts. This hot new addition to my smart home is called Detekt. It has special sensors that can recognize flames. What? We have it set up in our garage and our studio, and it's perfect because there should never be a fire in either of these places. The sensor spots fire from around 20 feet away within 2 seconds, and it works. It uses Wi-Fi and the battery life is supposed to last over a year. We'll see. Hopefully I don't get burned. I don't think it works with Home Assistant yet, but it is keeping us safer and that's great. There might be a time in your life when you're adding smart light bulbs and your family says, I just want a switch to turn the light on and off. Sometimes the family is so demanding, but you didn't get a Philips Hue light bulb, so you can't use a Hue wireless light switch, right? Wrong, you still can. The Hue switch just uses Zigbee, so if you have Home Assistant with a Zigbee USB stick, you can use this to control any smart lights, not just Hue. Nice. And it's wireless with a magnetic mounting plate, so you can install this anywhere. Now your family can be happy again. I have affordable fingerprint door locks throughout my home and they work great. I'll link them down below. But they don't connect to my smart home. But this one is smart. It's the new Aqara U300. It's the more premium option and it still keeps the rascals out of my office. The lock is also really high quality with a fingerprint sensor, hidden keyhole, and I like that anyone can use the keypad. It is a little expensive since it's built for outdoors, but it works with Matter, so I have it connected with Home Assistant. Now I can run automations to lock the door or unlock it without getting up. The only problem with this lock is if I want it to stay unlocked, I have to physically press this button on the back. I really wish Aqara would change this. But if you want a really nice fingerprint lock with a lever, this is a solid pick. Oh, and I used this little electric screwdriver when I was installing the lock. I've been using it for about a year now, and I love this for installing smart home devices. It's not as bulky as a traditional power drill, and it's super easy to use. The arrow toward the screw tightens it, and the arrow away loosens it. There's a built-in light, and it recharges with USB-C. It's great. This motion sensor from Third Reality is interesting. It plugs straight into the wall so you don't need to worry about batteries. It's not expensive and it has a built-in RGB light on it. I love using a small RGB light for automations and the cool and warm lights look pretty decent for a nightlight. You will need a Zigbee hub to use this, but what's cool is it works as a Zigbee repeater to extend your network. It is a little bulky, but for how inexpensive it is, I think it's worth it. Speaking of needing a Zigbee hub, this next device makes it way easier. So you probably heard of Home Assistant, the free and open source software for automating your home. Well, this device is called Home Assistant Green, and it makes it so anyone can get up and running since it's plug and play, plus you can get it from Amazon now. And I'd say Home Assistant is the best home automation platform out there. All that it costs is your time, your sanity, and your relationships. Sorry, Allie. And I just made a beginner's Home Assistant video, so check it out if you're getting started. Heading outside, another smart home product that's worth buying are these outdoor Wi-Fi lights by Novostella that work with most smart home platforms. I mounted them near my roof and they're very bright, up to 1700 lumens. They also have good warm and cool white colors, and yes, RGB for the kids. Definitely not for me, I'm too grown up for that. But I set up a cool automation for these. When the camera detects a person and the sun is down, the lights turn on. So no false alerts from birds or anything, and it's really convenient since we never have to turn the lights on and off, and it's a good security automation too. Sometimes when we hear bad air quality, we only think about outside, but inside it can be bad too. Especially when CO2 levels are high, it can make my brain feel foggy and I can think slower. That's why I'm loving this air quality sensor on my desk. It's the Aranet 4 and it's great at detecting CO2 levels. The display is easy to read and it's e-ink, so the battery life lasts up to 4 years. Crazy! It also integrates with Home Assistant using Bluetooth. But what if you're out of Bluetooth range? Well, that's where the ESP32 comes in. It can be used for Bluetooth proxy to extend the Bluetooth range in your house. They're very small and really inexpensive, like some are only $5 each, which is insane. And I use it for all sorts of things like room presence detection, since they can detect the Bluetooth on my phone or my smartwatch and tell my smart home which room I'm in. And this opens the door to all sorts of automations based on who's in the room. I love these and I think they're totally worth it for how inexpensive they are. Now, something that costs 100 times more than the ESP32 is the Pixel tablet with speaker dock. And this is my favorite way to display my smart home dashboard here in the kitchen, because I still get many of the Google Display benefits like a good speaker on the magnetic charging dock, great voice detection, and timers that are easy to see. But I can also use the camera on the tablet to automatically display my own custom Home Assistant dashboard when someone walks in the room. Best of both worlds. This is the Bond Bridge. While it doesn't look flashy, it's one of the most reliable smart home devices I own. I've had it for over 6 years, which is longer than I've had 2 of my children. And that's crazy to say out loud. Here's what Bond does. It connects RF devices to your smart home. This means I can control my dumb ceiling fans in Home Assistant. It's compatible with basically every smart home system out there, and I only need one bridge to control my entire house. Plus, I'm also automating my backyard shades with this, since those use RF as well. It's definitely one of the best things you can get for your smart home. Alright, next, I want to show you an essential part of our smart home, our robot vacuum. And shout out to Roborock for sponsoring this portion of the video. Robot vacuums are absolutely worth it. We haven't even needed to think about cleaning our floors in years. People love Roborock's high-tech robot vacuums because they're reliable and integrate well with your smart home. And this is the S8 Max V Ultra, their flagship, and let me tell you, it's amazing. It cleans the corners really well since its flexi-arm side brush extends out. And mopping those spots is also no problem since it has extra edge mopping. I also like how the dock is low maintenance since it washes the mop with hot water and has a detergent dispenser. Plus it can clean across different types of floors by lifting up its brushes and mop. Add in 10,000 pascals of powerful suction and object avoidance, and seriously, this is an incredible vacuum. You can catch it on sale right now for $700 off for Black Friday. And the Q Revo line also has some really great options depending on what your budget is. So check out the link in the description to see Roborock's Black Friday sale. Next up is a very useful smart home device. It's the Kasa Smart Power Strip. I have 2 of these in my garage on the ceiling to automate multiple devices. One is I can turn the ceiling lights on and off since the lights are just dumb lights plugged into the smart outlet. Another is a laser to help me park perfectly, which the Kasa Power Strip will kill power to the laser when I'm not pulling in my car. That way the laser doesn't shine in anybody's eyes. I don't need my smart home blinding my kids. I also use this at my desk so I can turn on and off my speakers from my dashboard. So much easier. For a Wi-Fi device, they're extremely reliable and integrate nicely into Home Assistant. This is a fun one. It's the Smart Bird Feeder 2.0 from BirdBuddy that just launched. Basically, it's a bird feeder with a camera built in that captures amazing footage of all the birds and animals that come to visit. How cool is that? This new version has improved audio and HDR, and it was super easy to set up with my kids. The product is really high quality, and I love all the extras that can be attached, like a solar panel on the roof to keep the camera charged, and the water feeder. The kids love it. While we're outside, I want to show you this outdoor speaker that's exactly what I've been looking for. A weatherproof Wi-Fi speaker that I can always leave out here. This is the JBL Wi-Fi speaker, and it fits the bill perfectly. It's plenty loud and works with both iOS and Android. The only problem is I thought we would be listening to good music out here, but somehow the Frozen soundtrack is always what we end up playing. Alright, next up are the two garage door controllers from Rachio and Meros. These are so nice to have in my smart home, and I use them all the time, like automations to know if the garage door is open or not, or to quickly open it with my phone when I'm riding on my bike. A while back, I was very upset when Evil Corp blocked API access for their garage doors. But luckily, these options are even better. Both Rachio and Meros work locally, so they're super reliable, and I don't have to worry about my garage automations breaking. If you want a smart home dashboard that doesn't break the bank, this inexpensive Lenovo Tab M9 might be the one. It's usually a little over $100, but sometimes you can catch it on sale, like right now during Black Friday. I like how this stays between 60 and 80% battery, so always keeping it plugged in is fine. I use one in our theater room to quickly run lighting scenes and another at my desk. And I really like the inexpensive mount that I put it on so it doesn't take up any desk space. One of my favorite lights that I get asked about all the time is the one right here in this lamp. This LIFX bulb can do multiple colors at once. I haven't seen any other light bulb that can do this. Sure, light strips, but not a bulb. It's a smaller E12 bulb base, and I have it in the IKEA Symphonics Sonos lamp. I don't think IKEA makes this style anymore, but the multicolor bulb in here looks amazing. Another smart home device that's worth buying are these light strips in the corner from BTF Lighting. Seriously, these are the most beautiful light strips I've ever laid eyes on. That's because they're COB style and I can't see the individual LEDs. Even up close, look, it blends perfectly. Plus, it can do multiple colors at once, and I could write a love letter about how nice they look. I'm using WLED to control them, and it's extremely customizable. But it is DIY, so it takes a little more work and tinkering to get it up and running. I did a full video about these, and I'll link that down below. I'm excited about this next device. It's a new pressure sensor mat called TrampleTek Blue. You can automate this so if someone steps on it or sits on it, certain actions happen. There aren't many devices like this since it's already assembled and easy to use. Look how fast it is at detecting if I'm putting pressure on it or not. Extremely accurate, and I can adjust the sensitivity. Very cool. And because you can adjust the sensitivity, you can put it underneath a couch cushion, a mattress, or we have ours underneath this kitchen mat. That way we can run automations when we're standing here doing dishes at the kitchen sink. It's made by a small startup, but it works great. You guys are always asking which motion sensor to get, and my answer may surprise you. It's this one from Philips Hue. Not only can it detect light and temperature as well as motion, but the battery life? It's incredible. All of mine easily last 2 or 3 years before I need to replace the batteries, which are 2 AAAs, so I always have some on hand. Not only that, it's extremely responsive and has very fast cooldown times in between detecting motion. It uses Zigbee and it's very reliable. This one, it's a keeper. Okay, sometimes a separate motion sensor and smart light might be overkill for like a pantry or closet. That's where these Lutron motion switches come in with a motion sensor right there on the light switch. They're extremely convenient since the light automatically turns on when you walk in and turns off after a few minutes of no motion. Sure, it doesn't connect to the internet, but it doesn't have to. I have them in my laundry room, pantry, bathroom, and closet. They're perfect. You can even get them in a 3-way light configuration, and they're easy to install. Now, if you're looking for a good gift for yourself, this gaming controller is super fun. It has a USB-C connector to plug straight into your phone. I've been loving this playing old school games on my Android phone using an emulator. It's been great to take on trips, and instead of doom scrolling on social media, I can play my favorite childhood games. And they're just as fun and difficult as I remember.
No, it's cheating! Come on! Oh.
This is a really cool new smart home lock called the Lockley Visage Zeno. Sure, it unlocks with Apple HomeKey, your fingerprint, or the keypad, but what's really impressive is that it can scan your face and unlock from that. This is the first smart lock that can do that, and I think it's awesome. It's very responsive no matter how you unlock it, and it's really quiet. Also, it has a rechargeable battery and comes with an extra one so you can easily swap them out. It doesn't connect directly to Home Assistant, but I'm using the Homebridge integration to know if the lock is open or not, so it works well for me. It's obvious that a smart sprinkler controller will make it more convenient to control everything with your phone. But I didn't realize how it would save all my plants from dying. One day out of the blue, Rachio alerted me that I had a bad solenoid. Sure enough, the solenoid failed, so the valve couldn't turn on to water our plants. If I had a dumb sprinkler controller, I would have had no idea something was wrong and it wasn't running. So this isn't flashy, but it's definitely worth it. I'm a big fan of e-readers, but I wasn't sure if I would need to write on them. Well, when the Kindle Scribe first came out, I immediately bought it, and I found the writing part extremely useful. Of course, I take notes on what I'm reading about, but I can do more than just that. There are daily planner templates that make it really easy to plan out the day. Plus, it feels very good to write on. It feels like I'm using a pen and paper. It's a nice break from the bright screens of phones and tablets, especially at night because it doesn't keep me up. And now wrapping up with a classic that might be a little controversial. Philips Hue bulbs and light strips. And I know, it's not the best bang for your buck, but the reliability makes up for it. My Hue bulbs and light strips never disconnect, and I've had them for years. Plus, they have some unique options like their cool warm filament bulbs I have in the kitchen. That's why when it comes to smart home tech worth buying, I can't leave Hue off the list. Before you go, I have one last bonus item. If you're ordering a bunch of smart home devices from this video, well, I have something that might help you out. This is the Gerber dime, and I carry it with me all day because of its size. It's tiny but mighty. The main tool I use on it is the package opener, and it's so useful I use a Gerber dime way more than I thought I would. It's not too expensive, and it would be a great stocking stuffer. Alright, that's everything, and it's all linked down below in the description. Thanks for watching.
Oh, come on, Reed. Not another smart home thing?
No, this is a Christmas present for the baby.
Really?
No, trust me, she's gonna play with this box for hours.